Warren, this question is also based on something you said more recently, so I can't guarantee it's going to be any easier. You recently noted that you prefer share repurchases over dividends as a means for returning capital to shareholders should Berkshire's cash balances continue to rise and hit the $150 billion threshold you noted as being difficult to defend to shareholders at last year's annual meeting. While I understand the rationale for not establishing a regular dividend, a one-time special dividend could be a useful option for returning a larger chunk of Berkshire's excess capital to shareholders without the implied promise to keep paying a regular dividend forever. The drawback with the special dividend, though, is that it would lead to an immediate decline in book value and book value per share, whereas a larger share repurchase effort, while depressing book value, would reduce Berkshire's share count, limiting the impact on book value per share. If we do happen to get a few years out and Berkshire does hit that $150 billion threshold because valuations continue to be too high, both for acquisitions and for the repurchase of company stock, would you consider a one-time special dividend as a means for returning capital to shareholders?
Well, if we thought we couldn't use capital effectively, we would try to figure out the most effective way of returning capital to shareholders. And you could, I would have probably, I think it'd be unlikely we'd do it by a special dividend. I think it'd be more likely we'd do it by a repurchase if the repurchase didn't result in us paying a price above intrinsic value per share. We're never going to do anything that we think is harmful to continuing shareholders. So if we think the stock is intrinsically worth X and we would have to pay some multiple, some modest multiple even above that to repurchase shares, we wouldn't do it because we would be hurting continuing shareholders to the benefit of the people who are getting out. But we will try and do whatever makes the most sense, but not with the idea that we have to do something every day because we simply can't find something that day. We had a vote, as you know, I don't know, a few years back on whether people wanted the dividend, and the B shares, so we're not talking my shares or Charlie's or anything, but the B shares voted 47-1 against it. So I think through self-selection of who becomes shareholders, I don't think shareholders world or countrywide on all stocks would vote 47-1 at all. But we get self-selection in terms of who joins us, and I think they expect us to do whatever we think makes the sense for all shareholders. And obviously, if we really thought we never could use the money effectively in the business, we should get it out one way or another. So we will do what makes the most sense. But I can't see us ever making a special, or almost, it's very unlikely we would just pay out a big special dividend. I think that if we put that to the vote of the shareholders and Charlie and I did not vote, I think we would get a big negative vote, and I'd be willing to make a bet on that one. Charlie?
Well, as long as the existing system continues to work as well as it has, why would we change it? We've got a whole lot of people that are accustomed to it, who've done well under it, and if conditions change, why, we're capable of changing our minds if the facts change.
Yeah, and we've done that several times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I must say it's a little hard.
It always brings me back to earth. Okay, station 6.